us at the bar, please.
Welcome to Tavern Tales, a curated 5e Dungeons & Dragons adventure set in the tales of the Yawning Portal campaign module by Wizards of the Coast.
Previously on Tavern Tales. Now within the first level of the Readout of Durgeddon the Black, our Stonehammers have faced their first obstacle, a locked door, and then some Sturges. With Tessakar shooting off his own arm, what hope of success do they have?
Come sit down and drink with the enemy, raise a glass and toast to the enemy, and I'm not gonna do this on my own. So come sit down and laugh with the enemy, raise a glass and sing to the enemy, and I'm not gonna do this on my own. So I won't end up being alone, 'cause I won't drink my drink alone. So what about you? One beer or two, I'll drink to you.
Welcome to Game 7. I'm Kyle, and I am the storyteller and dungeon master, producer, editor, and all-around nice guy. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm not that nice. Creator of Tavern Tales. Thanks for listening. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/tavern_tales. It's a great site to help support and help creators generate and build content. My interest in Patreon is simply in having you send us $1 a month. I don't want any more than that because it's not about the money for me. I am more than happy to build this website and build this podcast out of my own pocket because it's something I love to do. But I'd really like another way to reach out to fans and individuals who love listening to this podcast. So if you're like that, throw us $1 a month. That's $0.25 an episode, and I'm not going to do anything more with it other than pass it on to other podcasts that actually have a need, that don't have an editor, that are capable and want to do it like I do, and other podcasts that actually would like to pay their participating actors. I never will pay a participating actor because all of these people are my friends. Friends should only ever give their time and energies to other friends. All right, this got awkward. I'm going to cut that.
Yeah.
Probably not. With that, let's see who we have at the table today. Sitting to my left is...
I am Allison, and I am playing Fogrim, aka Foggy. Fogrim is a dwarf, and he has a bright red mohawk. Sort of looks roosterish, but don't mention that to him. He won't like it. And he is our barbarian, and he likes to rage.
My name is Chelsea, and I am playing Tessakar, and he is a warlock who worships an old great one named Shubsy. Tessakar's got long, white, flowing hair. He looks like he's quite old. He's not. He got cursed when he decided to turn to the dark side. He gets in trouble a lot. He decided to try and basically kill a mosquito that was stuck to him with a spell and blew his arm off, so that's great. He's got a new arm now that's made out of some weird black energy. Not sure what that is all about, but we're gonna find out.
Wow, you must be well loved by Shub Nagurath.
That is exactly what the god's name is, but I call him Shubsy. It's easier.
I'm playing Oscar Stonehammer, the rogue. Oh, he's a character of sorts. I honestly can't remember what I look like.
Look at your character sheet.
I don't have it on my character sheet.
Oh.
Nope, I do not remember what I look like.
To be honest, I don't know if you've ever really described your character physicality. I always pictured him as having really short black hair and 3 days growth of beard. So like not a lot, but you're a dwarf, so that's pretty substantial. He's pretty swarthy, kind of an olive colored complexion, maybe darker gray-ish, and thick monobrow.
Something very, very close to home. So we're going to roll with that because I know what I look like. Yes.
Doesn't have glasses, but he does squint a lot. That's how I pictured him, and I don't know. That's
canon.
Doesn't have to be. You can freely contradict that.
No, I like it.
It's also the way you talk too. Like that's how that is kind of pictured. That Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know, like
Brooklyn.
What's
Ray.
going on there?
He's like Brooklyn, but Greek descent.
That works. That is Italian?
No, swarthy Greek sort of.
I'm Paige, and I'm playing Eldith, who is, surprising, a dwarf. I think Eldith has seen a lot of shit in her day, which has caused her to every so often have a personality disorder. So at one point, she will see herself one way, and at another, she sees herself as a completely different person, which would explain her mood swings. That's what I'm going with.
I have never seen Eldith have a mood swing.
Yeah.
She's always been pretty stable.
You're pretty like...
Yeah.
In her disgust of her brother and her general acceptance of her lot in life being one of pain and hardship in her traveling companions.
That's fair. I feel like, though, we saw a dark side of her at the cage.
I think it's more just like your sexuality just coming out. It's not really a dark side.
Whoa. I don't know. She wanted it pretty rough. It's like Dark Betty from Riverdale.
She led that arc on pretty well, but I think that was deliberate, not
She
desirous. Anyway. How about you describe your character?
I don't want to do it differently from what I was before.
You describe it, and I'll tell you if I feel like that was different from how you described it before, because I honestly don't recall you saying too much about your character's physicality.
I feel like
We're twins.
not identical.
Obviously.
Eldith has kind of like a tree bark hair color where it's kind of brown, but kind of not really ashy. I believe she was taller as a dwarf.
We're 4'2",
Oh, we both are?
so we're quite tall for dwarves.
Yeah. Okay, see, I remember part of it.
Yeah. We're also 99 years old.
I have 98. Did we age while we were
No, it's 98.
98 and a half?
Sounds great.
98 3/4.
I think we just decided that you were born first and you were born second, and you were born 2 minutes before the midnight, and then she was born. But that was all described upstairs. That was
Right.
never described on the podcast before. So that like
Oh, that's why I'm
You have
older.
different birth.
you're the birth years, because they were born at the end of the year.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
But it doesn't really. I mean, they would still
Be the same age.
be the same age. Be that as it may.
But there's
98-year-old.
2 minutes where I'm a whole year older. So fuck y'all.
Rough 2 minutes.
And we have gray eyes.
She's pretty skinny and like kind of buff because she's a paladin, and because she takes it really seriously.
I have also always felt that Eldith is cute as a button.
Oh, absolutely. Which is kind of off-putting because you see her face and it's so adorable. But then like, yeah, her nose is unfortunate.
I'm Marie Claire, and I play Melusine. Yes, there was arm movements with that. Yes. No, she's a well-known bard of much repute, Melusine Stonehammer. She is short, dwarf-like, with blue dyed hair, black beady eyes, and the boop of a nose that goes with the Stonehammer line. Melusine tends to wear bright colors and always has a story for every situation.
It's annoying.
This family, lovely little family.
Mm-hmm.
Let's begin our tale. The Sturges were dead. The dark and coppery smell of blood was in the air. The only sound was the heavy panting of several of the Stonehammers as they put hands on knees and hung their heads low, briefly exhausted by the sudden attack. Fogrim, dripping blood from the many places he'd been stabbed, heaved a sudden sigh and stood tall. He looked grimly at his siblings and said,
Are you guys okay?
And now, let us peek into the adventure itself, as the Stonehammers look through iron bars they cannot seem to penetrate, back down the refuse corridor they came from, and each other. There are corridors still unexplored in this orc-filled readout, though. So where do you want to go from here?
Do we dare try the stupid gate again?
Let's do another 3 attempts, guys.
Just looking at the gate gives all of you that deflated sense of self. That tugging and pulling any longer seems almost impossible and defeated. You turn away. Returning to the sleeping furs and the piles of stocked supplies that these orcs have gathered in their readout, you see there are options before you. To the south, through that twisting, almost natural cavern, and to the north, where you were told earlier of the great Ulfi's Council of Orcs. And after a little bit of deliberation, it is to the north you turn. For looking in through the bars, you did note that there was a door to the north and a door distantly to the south. And it seemed perhaps that if you went north, you might circle around through the stacked goods and the piles of sleeping furs. Make a perception check. Just Tessakar, because Tessakar is the only one who has been diligently and exhaustively searching through these piles of stacked goods.
17.
So, you have noticed something of worth.
Oh, I've noticed something of worth.
I mean, it's better than a box with nothing in it. Frickin' box.
You have found a loose stone, stepping on it or whatnot. And behind that stone, it's like a loose flagstone in the floor as the character is walking along. And he feels it because he's been very closely attending and looking this way and that. He is very aware of what's going on in this room. You slide this loose stone aside and you find a small, locked strongbox. Can you describe the strongbox for me, Aaron?
It is currently rusted. It's a darker brown wood with rusted padlocks on it. 2 latches on each side.
Thanks.
And like a briefcase.
I pick up the box and I brush it off and I try to open it.
Well, it is locked, so you're not quickly and easily able to open it.
I have a spell for that.
No, you don't.
I have a scroll for that.
No, you don't.
It's called Scroll of Knock.
Yes, and remember, we did this very last game. What happens if you use that?
It goes away forever.
Yeah, if 1, it goes away forever, and 2,
Kaboom.
what sound does it make?
Oh, right. The really big, loud one.
300 yards.
Please don't
Let's
kill
not
all
do
of
that.
us.
Right.
Bloody well right.
I am going to test out my new arm. So I'm going to first try just grabbing the lock with my hand and seeing if that does anything.
No, it doesn't seem to.
No? Oh, I'm going to stick my finger in the lock.
Your finger is way too fat and thick, manly a finger to stick into that lock.
Even the energy finger?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. It's thick, fat, manly energy finger. It still has the exact same consistency, texture, whatnot of your hand. It is just a black energy hand.
Oh, I thought it was more like fluid.
No.
Okay. I'm going to call over Oscar because he's my trusted...
So do that.
Hey, Oscar! Oscar! I got a box. I need to open.
No, I'm good. Thanks, though.
What the hell, Oscar? It's cool. Come
Ooh.
on.
Well, a cool looking box. Well, you got me there. Oscar walks over to the box.
Tessakar hands Oscar this box.
Be careful with it. Yeah, I found it.
And I'm going to attempt to pick the lock on said box.
Do that. How do you pick the lock?
I'm going to use my thieves' tools.
Remember, you've already lost Pickerton.
I did lose Pickerton. I'm going to use Pickerella this time.
Oh, okay. What color is the handle of that lockpick tool?
Ivory.
That makes sense. Pickerton was ebony.
Now this would be sleight of hand.
No, this is a lockpick check. You're going to be using your dexterity plus your proficiency bonus and roll a d20.
Jeez. 8.
No, you have unfortunately not been able to open this particular box, but you may attempt to unlock it again. You have not broken a lock pick or whatnot, so make your effort.
I'll try once more.
Sure.
Guidance.
Do you choose to accept guidance?
Sure. 19.
Pickerella's handle is ebony black, but the lock opens to your hand.
Here you go.
Don't even open it?
Oh, well, it's unlocked.
It's unlocked, but not opened.
I will let Tessakar open said box.
Tessakar sets the box out in front of him, very gingerly.
Everyone has already left this chamber and moved on to the next.
What?
Hey guys, come back. I got a cool box.
Okay. Well, Oscar's still with me, so that's all that matters. He's my true friend. So he very carefully just opens the latches, because he knows sometimes boxes try to kill you. Opens the latches, flips the lid, and inside there is a...
There are 3 items in this box. I will define 2 of those items. You will define the other. You go first.
Why? It's so mean. It could be anything you want, Chelsea.
Right. At which point I'll define the other 2.
Oh, gosh. How big is this box?
The box is about the size of a large board game box. like an Axes and Allies board game box.
So is it bigger than the Wrath of Ashar-Laladin?
A Chardalon?
Have you not been listening to the kid episodes? Because that's all they talk about.
Oh, yeah, no.
It is quite a bit longer and about an inch taller than that. Not too much longer.
Okay. So inside this box, there is this black velvet pouch. And inside the velvet pouch...
You have found a black velvet pouch.
Oh, there's something inside the pouch.
Yes, there is 180 gold pieces inside a black velvet pouch, as well as a flask.
Flask?
Yes. Sparkles and shines as coins fall from the pouch as Tessakar opens the pouch to see what is in it. Gold.
I quickly count the gold because Tessakar's like that.
There's no way you're quickly counting 180 gold pieces, but
yeah, totally could.
Okay.
I'm a dwarf. We like money.
You find the flask and 180 gold pieces. You're going to count the 180 gold pieces. We have about 5 minutes of interaction with the 3 other characters who moved on past the stone. Yes, what's up, Oscar?
Just a question. What was the third item in the box? Because you said there was 3 items.
Exactly.
The bag, the gold, the flask.
Oh, I thought the gold was in the bag.
That's what I was getting to.
Absolutely, yes. But I told her that she could just define one item in the box. So she chose a black velvet bag.
Okay.
To be fair, as written in the book, there are only 2 items in the box. It is 180 gold pieces and a flask of something. You're defining it as a black velvet bag. I said, well, you can have the 2 items as they're described in the book then. And if you picked anything outrageous or beyond mortal ken, I would have definitely changed those other 2 items. So we're just going with as written.
Damn it. Okay.
But it was really funny.
I enjoyed it.
I did too. I mean, you could have had a flying pig named Pegasus.
Or freaking toast that makes you fly.
But if you'd done anything like that, the repercussions of something else being in the box would have been high.
Well, I'm glad I didn't die. So the reason why I was counting out the gold is because I'm handing half the gold to Oscar.
Splitting it between the 2 of you.
Yeah. Oscar.
Okay, well, the other 3 are ahead.
Exactly.
And you have reached a corridor that runs left and right. Unless you've chosen to stop, because Tessakar is not quiet in his demands for Oscar to come over here. I found something. I need you to unlock it. Yeah. So you could have continued on, or you would stand around looking and then watch as Tessakar counts out the 180 gold pieces.
I would definitely stop. I don't know. Are we close that we could be able to see that much detail, though? We're not really that far.
I'm not going to choose for you that you would have moved on beyond these 2 in their interaction. So you can all be gathered around or not at your discretion. Or you could move on and have an adventure.
I would maybe just stop. But my only thought is that we haven't healed.
Correct.
Rhett. And so I would like to do that before we go any further.
I would also like that. I have 2 hit points.
This is why I mentioned this.
During your short rest, a box is uncovered under a flagstone. Everyone may roll hit dice as you would like to spend.
Do we get spell slots back?
No. The warlock does, but you don't.
I don't get anything from this rest.
You just get hit points.
I didn't lose any.
You've uncovered a chest. There was 180 gold pieces in it, and all of your siblings and cousins are standing around you when you open it up and parse out 180 gold. Is it still 90 for Oscar and 90 for Tessakar, or do you share the wealth amongst your siblings and cousins?
Doesn't divide evenly.
If you're recording treasure that has been gained, which is the first time that this has happened, then I would recommend that one person record all of the treasure that is being acquired. If such thing as happens as somebody decides to hide some treasure from somebody else, we will encounter that. You can just put that straight on your character sheet and we'll deal with the repercussions in game from the family if it's found out. So does somebody want to track the treasure, not Aaron, as we go through the game?
I can track that.
Yeah? Okay. So 180 gold pieces and a flask. All money will be carried by all characters, so to parse out the weight, but we'll just track it on one sheet and then we'll divide it at the end. Further, the flask. Does anybody wish to have a look at the flask?
I will open up the flask and I will give it a very quick smell.
All right, you give it a sniff. Make a check. You won't know what you're rolling. I'll do the math on that.
2.
It does not smell like anything other than maybe water.
Can I try doing like a medicine check on it or something?
Sure, you can have a check at it. You can make a roll as well. I won't tell you what you're rolling, but you...
Natural 19.
So with that, you know that this is a flask of holy water, that it has been blessed in such a way as to do damage to undead creatures and be performed in ceremonies. Who is going to carry the flask of holy water?
I don't really want to carry it.
I can carry it.
I mean, it's fine for you, but you basically can cast those sorts of
Yeah.
things on your own. You can do that sort of thing as an action. Somebody else might be beneficial, especially somebody who's good at throwing shit.
Oscar, you throw things, don't you?
Well, we can decide that as you move along, but somebody put that on your character sheet. Maybe give it to just straight up give it to Melusine. She can throw things.
So should it be on the treasure log?
You can put it on the treasure log and then put a name next to it, however you want to record it so that it's not currently shared by group. When we've got items that are like single use, we'll try to give them out to somebody so that we know who has it. If it's transferred or traded at that point, it's probably going to be used any moment, so it's not big a deal. With that, you've reached a corridor. Your short rest is ended. You know, it's been about 45 minutes to an hour and no orcs have come through here, thankfully, but you're starting to worry very, very much that some orcs might come in to have a nap or sleep or pass through just to collect something. And as a result, you feel the burgeoning urge to move to the north to see that corridor that leads to the east and to the west. The corridor is 10 feet wide. And it has a huge opening that's 30 feet wide, but you're only able to travel through about 15 feet of it on the east side because there is a huge pile of supplies here. It stretches one way about 20 feet and the other about 40. Working its way out into the distance there, you can see that there is in fact a way right and a way left, way down to the west towards the entrance to this redoubt. But to the east, to the right there is a door set in the middle of the wall terminating the end of this corridor. Just one door, and it is slightly ajar and light spills forth from it.
And that's the door that's blocked by supplies?
To describe it, you're entering that T intersection, and to get through to that T intersection, there's just like all of the supplies on the left. So normally it'd be this big, wide entrance. They've just stacked up supplies, kind of like workshop theater going into their back area. It's like, what is all this stuff? It literally looks like theater supplies because it's like everything.
So it's in front of the entrance.
So then you're going to turn to the right, and that's where that door is open that spills down, and then to the left. And that whole corridor is empty and it's clean. There's no supplies and whatnot stacked in there. It's 10 feet wide. It goes straight out to the left for about 40 feet and has 2 larger holes that your dwarven eyes can make out leading north and south.
So I suggest we go right, because the last time we moved boxes, Sturgis tried to kill us.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to move boxes at all. You can make your way around this packet to get either way. But that door with the open and spilling light through it does seem to beckon.
Is there any cool shit lying amongst the boxes?
Yes, there is. You describe for me a piece of cool shit that is lying amongst the boxes.
Okay.
Actually, you described the last one. What is something cool in amongst the boxes?
It's a lamp like from Aladdin.
Cool. It is a golden lamp with a clay genie type figure coming out of the top of it. He's blue and he's got the white turban and the white belly thing, and he's coming like this out of the robe with his arms stretched out like he's being summoned out of the brass lamp. There you go.
Tessakar is just going to walk up to it, give it a couple of rubs.
It makes a sound when you rub it. What is the sound it makes, Paige? Yeah, it makes a grinding sound as if something were to happen when you rub it, and it doesn't.
I'm just going to take the lamp with me.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You put the lamp in your new briefcase box, and click the 2 latches.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Moving your way down towards this open door?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you moving stealthily?
Yes.
Great. Now we're at a point in the game where I'm just going to remind everyone and let you all know that you do not need to tell me that you're looking and detecting for traps. I will always assume that that is the case. However, I would like everyone to talk about moving stealthily, at least to begin with. That way, if you tell me you're moving stealthily and then you yell at each other, I'll at least know, well, they're not really yelling in character because they're trying to move stealthily. If you want me to start assuming that you're moving stealthily, you need to speak stealthily too. Okay? Fair?
Fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can
You
do
stealthily make your way down the hallway. Give me a stealth check. How many people beat a 12?
that. Nothing.
So you are not stealthy as you approach the door. And your perception checks are that you could hear sounds coming through that crack in the door. But as you move towards the door, the sounds grow silent.
Tessakar is just gonna like turn around from heading towards that door. And he's just gonna pivot on heel, start walking back the other way.
Raise a glass and drink with the enemy. Raise a glass and sing with the enemy. And I'm not gonna do this on my own. And raise a glass and toast to the enemy. Raise a glass and sing to the enemy. And I'm not gonna do this on my own.
This concludes this episode of Tavern Tales, a curated Dungeons & Dragons 5e game set in the Tales of the Yawning Portal adventure module by Wizards of the Coast. Our intro and outro music is the song Tavern Tales by the Bad Billy Band. You can find out more about the Bad Billy Band on iTunes or at www.badbillyband.com or follow them on Twitter at badbillyband. Thanks for listening. Please feel free to leave us a review on iTunes or find us on Twitter at tavern_tales. We'll be back next week with more of the adventure.